Hi, my name is Thabelo, DJ20, and you are watching Analogue Culture.
Comfy?
Yes.
Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Good morning if you're waking up. This is DJ Ndo-C and you're on Analogue Culture. Today I've got, again, special guests. One way. One way. I've got Thabelo, aka Turn-T. Don't know what to call you right now, because now you're turning into this wonder and sensation. Every left turn I take, your name is on a poster.
Up and coming DJ.
Up and coming. You think so?
Yes.
I think you've played Wii House. That's out the window.
I have.
That's out the window. You're not an up and coming. You're in the game now.
That's how I see myself. I see myself still learning, still a student, and yeah, that's the space that I'll probably still be in for probably the next 2 years even.
Yeah.
I, as you have seen, as we were setting up, perfectionist.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
How's the journey for you?
Let me just go back. So growing up, I've always loved music, and I think that comes from my father, who literally forced fed us jazz. So that's all we listened to growing up.
Yeah.
And he used to be a host, so he'd host a lot of parties at home. He liked entertaining. So even in that space, I started taking care of the music.
Nice.
Not necessarily house as I played now, but the stuff that the adults would want to listen to.
Yeah.
Now it became my responsibility. So also growing up, I realized that I love a particular sound, even though I cannot pinpoint, I don't know what it was called, but I just gravitated towards a certain kind of music, which later I learned, okay, this thing is called house.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I asked my dad at the age of 14 or 15. This was before there was a DJ Tlale, before there was a DJ, what's the other lady DJ's name? The well-known DJs, let me just put it like that.
Sindo.
Yeah, Sindo, that's the name I was looking for. So that was before. Then I asked him, please get me equipment as an investment. It'll pay you back. I'm not asking for a loan. I'm not asking you to donate money. I'm just asking for a loan so that I can pay you back. He was not very fond of the idea.
Yeah, no parents are.
I think it was also about just the time of life I was in at that time. I was a high school kid, and this thing is going to take me out to places where I'm still young to even, be in, and safety as a girl child was also a priority, and also he literally wanted me to focus on school. So I can understand from that perspective why the answer was no, but it really hurt at the time.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
I can imagine if you started at 14. One of the greats, Dave Chappelle, started performing at 14. So imagine how far.
That's where the interest has always been there. I've always just loved music. I think it's house music that made me want to become a DJ, nothing else.
Yeah.
So from that point onwards, I just decided when I get my own money, and I'll take myself to a DJing school, or I'll pay somebody to do it, because even at that young age, I believe in paying people for services.
Yeah.
So I got my first job, excited. Now I can finally do this thing I've always wanted to do, but unfortunately it didn't even pay me much.
Yeah.
But at the time, I remember there was the Soul Candy Institute.
Yeah.
It was at Boston College in town. I went there, I visited the space. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. And I think at the time Blanca was there, and he took me through the studios. He showed me everything. I really wanted to be there, but I still couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
So I got to Cape Town in 2008. I came to study, but I decided to stay. I don't know why, but I decided to stay. Even then, I started following house music.
Yeah.
I would just attend events and just go and enjoy as a spectator. Then there came a time again, then I started searching. When I started earning a little bit more better, I was like, okay, now this is the chance.
Yeah.
So I got my sense, and I saw an ad. I actually went online and I looked for DJing schools.
Yeah.
And I found one, and I think I did my first lessons in 2016.
Okay.
We would go there on a Thursday and a Tuesday, twice a week, over a 2-month period. But it was great and all, but I just didn't really get what I was looking for 100% the first time.
Yeah.
I think everything was too fast for me. I just didn't get anything. Like everything was going right over. Like I was overwhelmed,
Yeah.
and I didn't have enough time for practice. So I did it twice at the same institution.
Okay.
I did it twice. The second time around, it got better. But then I got to learn that maybe I'm just slow in that regard. I just need a bit of more time to learn certain things than most people, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I will get to where I need to be. So that's where the journey started.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like a cool dream concept, like a dream job type of setup. You know, when someone grows up and says, "I want to be a doctor," it's that kind of a dream.
And look, I didn't even ever imagine doing it commercially. It was just for me to know. And then if my friend says, "Hey, I'm having a party," and I'm like, "No, I can't. I'll sort out the music for you."
Yeah.
Just to do the same thing that I was doing at home back then.
Yeah.
I'll do it for my friends, and I'll just do it for my own enjoyment, really. But they came, fast forward 2019, 2020. I started then having an interest. Okay, let me try and push this thing again. Now I get rusty because remember I did lessons when 2016.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I meet Lady Z.
Okay.
And somebody had referred me to her. She said she can mentor me because she's been doing this for quite a while.
This is Ladies You was a lang.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I meet up with her, and we start talking, and she sees that I'm serious, and she didn't want to take anybody on who doesn't look like they know their business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then end of the year, New Year's Eve 2019, she got a gig somewhere and she took me along.
Yeah.
And I think she was pretty booked that evening, but what happened is that she is the one that gave me the first opportunity to play for a crowd that isn't my friends and family. And I was still nervous, but I did do my best, and that's where the story started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a cool story, man.
It is.
Where was your first gig?
There's a place in town called the Two Eves. That's
Yeah.
where it was.
How's
Yes.
the crowd?
Look, it's not our usual house music crowd, as you know, but they still enjoyed the music. That's the other thing that I've realized right now, that people don't necessarily not like house music, because the one thing I keep telling people is that there is no appetite for house in Cape Town.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
a reality. However, if you really play well and you curate your selection properly, people that don't think they like house will enjoy it, and they'll come to you and tell you, "Oh wow, that was beautiful."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's where it started.
How do you meet Umilibala
Okay.
and the girls? Let me just say the girls.
How did I meet the girls?
Yeah.
Okay. So then 2019 passes, then Corona hits back, and then things are on hold.
Yeah.
And whatever it is that I was planning comes to a halt. Then life happens. Then somebody else, and then I say, you know what? I did do lessons with this institution and with these guys, but I'm the problem.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
still feel like I need more coaching. I need more guidance. I struggle with beat matching, so I need to have a one-on-one with someone.
Yeah.
So somebody I was dating at the time suggested Millie Bala.
Yeah.
He hadn't met Millie himself before, but had heard of her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of him teaching me, he suggested I go to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I got on social media, contacted Millie Bala. She was very nice. And for the life of me, we tried to meet up so many times. The meeting up was not happening. It was just like something was against it.
Yeah.
But for me, when I feel like something is against me, that's when I know for sure I must be doing something. That's when I know for sure. It's like, nah, the devil won't just come here and shake you up if there is nothing on the other side. I want to
Yeah.
see what's on the other side. It's my curiosity. It's like, nah, I'm going to push beyond this boundary. So we met up, and I had my first lesson with her, and we hit it off from that day onwards.
No, which is
Yeah,
it's cool. I missed out on your guys' gig, all done to Hysteria, and I think a week or two back, you guys had another event in Misenberg.
I suppose there'll still be more opportunity, but we hit it off, and she's become like one of my best friends. She's a sister to me, and she's always very supportive. Even before I went to go play Wee House, we had a practice session with her.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's really been a great force in my life, and I really appreciate her.
Yeah. Speaking about Umili is a very big advocate of women in the industry and the challenges that you guys go through.
Mm-hmm.
Have you met up with any of those?
Of course.
How are you dealing with them?
To be quite honest, sometimes I don't deal with it with in the greatest manner. It depends on my mood, really.
Yeah.
But you know, as just being female in J, it doesn't even need to be in DJing. There's just challenges you're gonna face. You're gonna face challenges in the corporate world. You need to prove yourself there. In any male-dominated industry, you always need to prove that you are also good enough. So some of the challenges that I have had is not being taken seriously, or whilst I'm playing somebody comes and fixes something, but when the previous DJ was playing and a male DJ, nobody was fixing anything.
Yeah.
It's also just that disrespect of people thinking you get certain opportunities because you're female. I don't get certain opportunities because I'm female. I get certain opportunities because I work hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. You were still telling me about your relationship with other girls and future events
Future events
with the girls now.
With the girls.
Yeah.
That I don't quite have sight of. I think for now, we just playing it by the ear and one step at a time. But obviously, we have big plans.
How are you finding it? Based on the fact you go to the appetite for house music in Cape Town is a tad bit not as strong as it would be anywhere else in the country. How are you finding gigs here in terms of attendance?
The thing is, I've put myself in spaces where there's already an audience, whether that audience is for house or not, but an audience nonetheless. So what I do is that, just depending on the space as well, I always think about the end consumer or the end client for that particular space. When I'm playing, how do I think they're going to receive what I'm about to play? So if most of the time I'll get opening slots, which I actually do love because they free up my time to do other things, and other people take that as an insult. I love my opening slots, so guys, opening slots, me good. So so I always try to think about who am I gonna play to, what might they enjoy, what will they enjoy within the frame of house. Look, I feel personally, this is my personal opinion, that we have too many house events that could actually be turned into one big event or two big events, because everyone seems to be trying to do their own thing with their people. And I don't think that's gonna work in the long term, because we are fighting for the very same consumer who is very limited in the city. So I think what we need to do is to come together and in those spaces give each other fair opportunities, because there's a limited audience.
Ish. Yeah, we'll dive into that on another day. You're going to see how does this whole thing happen. I think one of the reasons there's so many parties so as we can accommodate as many DJs. Do you know how many DJs are there?
Of course. And there's one training right now as we speak.
Exactly. So that calls for, I feel there's not enough events actually.
Okay, so one of my mentors, I'm not going to mention his name, he once said to me there are no DJs in Cape Town, and I was shocked at the statement, because I'm like, do you know, like, if I go on my phone now and just type DJ, how many people are going to come up? And he's like, no, there are no DJs in Cape Town, because most of people that play house do not want to play anything else. And the city does not demand that. This city wants open format DJs. And that's what they have a shortage on. So if what I would advise anybody who's looking into coming into DJing in Cape Town, I would advise them to be very flexible in terms of the genre that they play. They must be open format to get as many opportunities as possible. But if you are like us, that are like staunch hard house heads, then just be prepared that you're not going to be booked every weekend. And there are going to be very limited events for you to do a year, even not even a week, a year, and be fine with that. Otherwise, branch out to other provinces. That's quite true. Besides a wee house,
I hear you were nervous on that one.
I'm always nervous.
What was?
It's standard. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't know when and how I'll overcome that. It's something that I still need to work on, because the minute I get nervous, because in my head I'm thinking I need to deliver the best. These people woke up, spend their money to come and see me, so I need to make sure that it's worth it. So it's just something that I still need to work on.
Yeah. Radio?
I've done radio.
Wait.
But just not for a very long time. I did campus radio.
Okay.
I was on UCT radio between 2011 and 2012.
Okay, and you figured you wouldn't chase that either.
Let me tell you something about that, hey. So I'm a marketer. So I studied brand management.
Yeah.
Then I went to UCT to go do a postgraduate diploma in management.
Yeah.
So as I was, I'm like, I've always had an interest in radio. Let me just go see how marketing works from a radio perspective as a media channel, right?
Yeah.
So I applied then on UCT radio to be in the marketing and advertising department, sponsorships and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Then as I'm waiting there to be interviewed, they just said next. Then I went into a room.
Okay.
And then they interviewed me, asked me a couple of questions. A week passed, and there I was with a slot in a show.
It's actually cool. It's actually cool.
I was like, there I was with a slot and a show, like my show, not me featuring it. It was my show.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, this is not what I was applying for, but thanks. Well, I think this is what everybody looks for, and I got it without looking for it.
Yeah.
So I had a Friday night radio show. It was between 7 and 9.
Yeah.
And
Jesus, Fridays are hard.
I called it In Transit. I called it that because it's a transition between the weekday, the week and the weekend. So this is where you start your weekend. It was supposed to be a talk show, and guess what? It ended up being
a house show,
a music show. I'm not much of a talker, so obviously I had a producer who started with me the first half or the first installment, like the first 6 months, and we didn't get along because he wanted to talk about heavy, serious topics.
Yeah. On
a Friday after all the stress we've had in the week, I'm like, nah, I'm not about that. Hey, can we just give people nice music? And I ended up playing house music, and then there was a guy I met who did his show after mine. Very talented guy. His name is Msaka.
Yeah.
I call him my twin. We were born on the same day. I would stay for his show as well. So I think it was from 9 to 12, if I'm not mistaken. And I would stay for his show, and then we'd jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, dude. And you let that go?
I thought it was just something that I was doing for the duration of me being a student there. I didn't think anything much of it.
And you were already trained as a DJ then?
I wasn't.
Not yet.
No, I wasn't. I was focused on school.
Yeah,
and
what I
came to do in Cape Town. My mom is paying a lot of money. Focus.
Do you ever consider going back into radio?
That's the thing. Somebody else said, my mentor, don't you want to do radio?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
Considering that now you're a DJ, I mean,
I'm thinking about it. The thing, my concern about radio is I can run my mouth and I have very unpopular opinions.
Well, isn't that what we're looking for, the truth?
Yeah, I have very unpopular opinions about a lot of things, so I think I'd always be in trouble.
But that's exactly what we're looking for, the truth. The truth is very seldom these days.
I often wonder if our station manager ever listened to any of my shows. Because I'm surprised I remained there for as long as I did, given the things that came out of my mouth.
Wow, man. Maybe you could actually take up that radio gig in Cape Town currently. There's no radio station that I listen to that plays Deep House or that plays house.
I know an online radio station, Mother FM. I know those guys love house, and that's all they play there. I listen to it every now and then. I've done some guest mixes for them before. Yeah, but I don't know. I would need to do my research. I don't know a lot about online radio stations, but if I were to do radio, I want to do it the traditional manner that we know it.
Yeah. So as we can tune in. I mean, the last guy who was doing this like Cape Town was Dino Michaels.
Oh, Dino Michael.
It was the heaviest house show there is. Then you'd know on Friday and Saturday you're listening to Dino. On Sunday you catch a Kid Funk in the afternoon.
I admired that man so much.
Dino late.
I met him in late 2016.
Who's this now? Dino Rulu?
Yes,
oh yeah,
Dino Michael. I was introduced to him by my boss then, who's a very well connected man, whom I'm just thinking one day I need to go ask him to just open certain doors for me, if he may. He introduced me to Dino Michael because he knew how passionate I was. In fact, he told me that out of the candidates that had applied for the job that I was working at that time, I stood out because I put DJing as a hobby.
Yeah.
Can you believe that, for a corporate job? He said he liked people that can branch out and do other things. So he always remembered that this is what I love, and he introduced me to Dino Michael.
Nice.
And we got the introduction, but then we lost touch. He was busy and he was still quite big then.
Yeah.
Then you know what happened, and then 2020 again, I went to him and approached him and I said, look, can we collaborate? Can you teach me to do what you do?
Yeah.
But he was very busy, so we didn't get very further with that conversation. But he's just one of those people I admire as well.
Yeah. He's one of those people that's out there for the culture as well. I presume your dad had jazz vinyls.
No. We didn't have vinyls, but CDs. I still have some of his collections.
Yeah.
But we've gone digital now, so I still listen to that music, but in digital format now.
Yeah.
But I still kept those. They're very special to me.
Of course. Yeah. My mom had a box this big of cassettes. I just don't know whatever happened.
Even
to
my
that
mom,
box.
she's quite musical, even though she wasn't really like so strong as my dad. Her influence wasn't really strong, but she is somebody who likes the vibe, who likes to just dance a little bit in a ladylike way. Yeah.
So if you're not working, what events are you attending?
I love supporting other house DJs.
Yeah.
So if I've seen that Ndo-C is playing somewhere and I'm available, like at the time and the resources to go, I pitch.
Yeah.
And I think you've seen I don't even need someone to come with me. I just go.
Yeah, you just come through.
Yes, I just go. Because I have this thing that I can't wait for other people to do the things that I want to do.
Yeah,
I just
true.
don't have the time. Because now I'm waiting, somebody's not coming, they cancel. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So I attend other people's events, and when I do, I go there for my enjoyment. I also go there to learn. I go there to network as well.
Yeah. How's your network, Nabantu Basituasi? Because I think currently the hub of Deep House is Pretoria, Josie. Everybody just is that side.
It's true. I don't have a lot of contacts in Joburg. It's not a place I'm personally very familiar with. However, I've had a number of people approach me wanting to manage me and take me to Joburg. I don't think it's the right time yet.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Why?
Like I said, I in my view, I'm still a baby in the industry.
Generally, if I threw you inside the ocean, wouldn't you swim?
Of course I would.
That's where you belong, with the wolves.
And people ask me, are you not from Pretoria? Are you not? Just based on my taste for music. And that's the other thing. When I play here, I bring back the music that reminds people of Joburg.
Yeah.
The music that reminds people of Pretoria. And I there is a little gap of people that move from that side and come here. They miss having something that makes them feel like they're at home, which they don't get here.
Yeah.
So there is a gap in that regard.
What's in your bag currently? What's on your sets?
I'm that girl who, if the producer says I'm releasing at 12, I'm waiting.
You're waiting.
I'm waiting. I'm literally sitting there. I'm waiting, and I will listen. I'll be one of the first people to listen. And from me listening to an album, I will pick my favorites, and then I move on with life. I don't think I'll revisit the other songs that didn't capture my heart.
Yeah.
If I listen to an album maybe once or twice, And there are certain songs that will definitely stand out. The rest that didn't stand out, I guess they didn't make it.
They didn't make it.
That's because I also believe in playing music that I love.
Yeah.
I have to love it first before I dish it out to everybody else.
Of course, if you're not dancing as a DJ, I mean, what are you playing?
Exactly.
Umanando was saying the same thing that you were saying in terms of if you release an album, it's worthless these days because you compile 12 songs that fit into the narrative you're trying to push for that particular album. 90% of the time, people don't like the whole album. They'll have about 5 tracks they like. So why not do my EPs as opposed to releasing an album?
I mean, as a DJ, I am buying the music. I'm not gonna buy an entire album of songs I'm not gonna use.
Yeah.
So I know it's the more expensive way of doing it, but I will pull out a few that I like and I move on from that album. I have a lot of music that I haven't even touched, so I don't. If you don't capture me there, you've lost me.
Ish. I'm always in advocating for you're buying 5 tracks out of an album. It's better than nothing, but who else is to buy the rest of the tracks? Because you as the DJ, you're going to go out there and you're going to play the music, right? The consumer is going to buy the single track.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I've heard a lot of producers complain about the money they get from streaming platforms.
Hey, dude.
I that's not my forte. I know nothing about that. Like I said, I always say I know my place in the value chain of this. I'm just the one who distributes what you guys produce. I know nothing, but I do stream. I will stream the whole album. But when it comes to going to buy the quality version of it to play for people, then I will select a few.
Yeah,
because
might as well just take what you need.
Yeah, I take what I need, but I do end up listening to the whole album. I do listen because now I'm actually listening to Spinworks. That's my cuz.
Sharp.
I'm listening to Spinworks. The last 2 weeks I listened to House Victims, and I said to myself, these 1, 2, 3 songs are going to my set, and I put them there immediately. I didn't waste time. That's me. When I'm excited about something, I go all out.
Do you shop locally only, or do you also shop internationally?
I make it a conscious decision to support local talent. That's just what I can. Even when you listen to my mixes or you will see that probably 80% of that is local producers. But I'm a global citizen. I listen to everything actually, and I listen to international artists. But when it comes to my pocket, I make a conscious decision to support local first.
You're just drawing me into this. How much do you spend a month for music?
I'm not telling you that. Look, sometimes it depends how it's like, but I also spend according to how much I get paid. Some with the DJing, I take a portion each time I get paid. There's a certain percentage that goes towards buying music, so that I keep growing the library.
Yeah, you must charge your family first for bookings, and then just sit up here, just play for them, and they pay you. That's where it starts. That's where you make money to pay music and to buy fuel to get around.
Yeah, but even like I said, I've always believed in artists getting paid. So in high school, when I got my pocket money, I bought compilations. So Bo Ganyani, Boom Teas, Bo Fresh, all of those. I still have them till today. I have those compilations, and I thought in the future I would put one together, but we are not living that kind of life right now.
Why not?
There's still a place for compilations in 2022.
Digital space.
Okay, let me work on that.
I mean, Looney
has done.
He's done one and he's doing another one again.
I saw that.
British SA. He's got compilations coming up, and he's been doing those. So, for the number of producers that you know, what you do is you take their music and you put it together. Then you do a mix of it. You put it on. You're a marketer. How?
It's an advantage. It's really worked very well for me in this industry because I understand things very differently from the rest. I won't say the rest of the DJs, but from most people, my perspective is quite different. I treat this like a business.
Yeah.
So I treat myself like a brand. That's why you were saying I'm panicking and I'm finessing everything. That's just because I want to appear in a certain way all the time. I need to maintain a certain brand image.
Yeah.
Yes.
As long as it's working for you, dude. Me, I think I'm gonna start wearing shorts and slots.
If that's your brand, go for it.
There's nothing as relaxed as being the DJ, as being if I can put it to you this way, if you quit your job and you focused on music only music, you would see what I'm talking about. Everything falls out. Everything falls off, and if you've attended ECTMF before, and you've seen the artists that they've brought through there, if you've attended the picnics the campouts as a Warehouse Sunday, like once you go that
No,
route,
like I always tell people, like house music is a love movement. We're a very chilled bunch of people. We're a very loving bunch of people. It's all happiness and butterflies. Like it's really a great place
rainbows
to
and
be.
sunshine, dude.
Rainbows and sunshine. I even tell the girls, I'm like, bring your men to these things. They don't even have time to look at other women. They're busy with the music.
Yeah.
So I do understand from that perspective, but I'm still building a brand, and until such a point where it's at where I believe, okay, at this point in time, it's time for me to
Relax.
chill a bit.
Yeah.
I've done the work.
Yeah.
The work is done, and now that I'm at this point, that's where now I start pulling my community through, the people that help me to get where I am, and the others I start giving back to the younger ones that are still up and coming. But that time is not right now because I'm also still building.
You're still building.
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually a good thing to go through. Give me your top. I asked you a question, you didn't answer it. I said, what's in your bag? You told me about the local stuff. Now, a question I wanted to follow up on that was the amount of content that we're consuming in local. It's like, yeah, it's a lot. You end up finding people playing the top tunes on the same level in one sitting.
Yes.
Right? Doesn't that come as a problem when you play?
Look, I've always said nobody. I go to places confidently knowing that nobody's gonna play anything on my list.
That you're gonna play.
Yeah, nobody is, because I've structured my set in a certain way, so I know for a fact that even if maybe somebody might play a song, okay, but it's highly unlikely that somebody's going to play a full set of what I've planned.
Yeah, it's highly unlikely. It's just that nah.
I don't go after what is popular.
Yeah.
I go after what speaks to my soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your forte most of the time would be into deep or soulful?
I'm very much soulful.
Very much soulful.
With a lot of deep influence, and then I play house. So when people ask me, I tell them I play house, whether it's soulful, deep, tribal, commercial, classics, whatever. I play house because I love it all.
Yeah,
but if you want to speak to me, speak deep house, speak soulful house. That's where I'm at.
Who would you like to see yourself on stage with on the list of the greats?
Okay, so I actually really admire DJ Zinhle, just as not only just as a DJ but as a businesswoman.
Okay.
So it would be nice to share a stage with her. There are a lot of wonderful people that I've met in my journey that I have high respect for. Some of them might even still view themselves as up and coming. I love music monks, even though you can never find their music anywhere, because they're very soulful, and I can just pick up their spirit from their music.
Yeah.
I'm very intuitive, by the way, so I can pick up what kind of people
Aren't
they
women aren't all women?
Yeah, I'm very intuitive. I can literally sense I can sense somebody's spirit when I'm even before meeting them from certain things. And I love Artwork Sounds. I think everybody knows when they dropped that album, I was like, yes.
Yeah. Those dudes are on
I love it
level.
all.
Yeah.
It really blessed me, because as a Christian person in this industry, church looks at you a certain way. Society looks at you a certain way. They just don't understand. How can you be a born-again Christian who's busy in the night with drunkards and whatever, you know?
It's a job, though.
It's a job,
Yeah.
but I just said I understand who I am and I understand my place in the world. So because I understand those two things, I'm fine. Yeah. So who are my top artists? I think that's why
you can
that's
throw
a
it in
question.
there.
So I've mentioned Music Monks. I've mentioned Artwork Sounds. Look, I want to talk about local guys as well. Deep Sort. It's some guy that I just used to see at gigs, at your gigs. By the way. I didn't think much of him because I don't know him well.
Yeah.
But he released an album recently, and I listened to it. I was like, yo, we are sitting on talent. We are sitting on great talent. Ndo-C is great. To me, RE's music is wow,
Dude.
like he is amazing. I don't think he's aware of okay, I think he is aware.
No,
but
I can tell you
he's very much
cocky
aware.
about
No, he is very much aware, but I don't think he's milking it for everything. I don't think he is pushing as hard as he should, but that's a conversation for me to have with him.
Yeah.
Who else? I love Tima Deep. He's also just somebody whose music speaks to me. I love Soul, Spinworks. See, these are local guys, so I'm very much locally inclined. Internationally, I can't say there's anything new that I'm listening to at the moment. It's still the old kind of stuff, like listening to a jazz or Osunlande or those artists that we grew up listening to. I still gravitate very much towards them, but I'm a local girl. I really consciously support local talent.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Udumi, he's fully aware.
I know he's fully aware.
what he said on the last time I was sitting with him was he still has about 200 songs he hasn't released.
Mm-hmm.
His problem with releasing music is that he doesn't want to give you mediocre stuff. And the problem is people are in a rush to hear his stuff based on the fact that he's really good. And that's what they're selling him with. You're good.
I also feel that even what's their company? TD Grooves.
TD Grooves, yes.
I feel they release too soon. You need to let an album run its course and just let people know that, and then move on to the other, because they're just releasing I'm like, guys, you just put food in our mouth, you're still chewing, and then you're putting the next spoon. It's a lot. They must give us time to enjoy what they offer.
Udux was explaining what their job is as a TD Grooves. As a TD Grooves, they're not necessarily into artist management. They're into selling the music and putting it out there so as they can create a catalog for TD Grooves. One. Number two, they were tired of sending music and being rejected, knowing that their music is good. They've tested it out and it works. Album yak, I think
Bonono.
Yeah.
It's great.
Some of the tracks on that album are dope.
It's great. But you know what? One thing about producers, I'm not one.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the process is. But what I've picked up is that when you produce as a producer, what I think you must do, you must also think about, how do I want this album to be received? Because some of the music is really great in these albums, but it's not a song that I can play at a restaurant.
Yeah.
It's not a song that I can play at a festival. It's a song that I'd like to take a long drive to Bloemfontein listening to.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Think about the end goal. Because if you are producing to make money and for public consumption and to make hits, then you need to think very differently.
Yeah.
You know?
It needs to flow commercially.
It needs to flow commercially, and it just needs to have also that it needs to be catchy. People need to catch on it so that it may trend. That, unfortunately, these days, no matter how much talent you have, if you don't back that up with marketing, you are not going to get very far.
I think I'm going to make money here. Right there, we're going to do artist management Ndo-C.
Yeah, no, I think I've shared my nuggets, because I think like a marketer, I think like a businesswoman. Hence, I carry myself like one all the time. I go out, and most people know that I do drink, but not too much, because I'm conscious. I need to be aware of my environment all the time. I need to know what's going on.
Yeah, man. And plus, I mean, driving out at night to events and gigs and overdoing it, Tungana driver is another story, man. Like, we've lost a lot of people.
For DD driver. It's still coming.
Then Uber, dude. Then Uber. Like literally, you guys need to take care of the idea, Yoguti. What you got, there's a lot of people that appreciate what you got out here. They want to see you. They want to see you do it. I'm sure if somebody's going to want you to come drop a set, might as well charge them for an Uber. Might as well they sort that out and you just ride.
But I actually like driving, strangely enough. So, and I don't drink. It hasn't become a problem so far. Yeah.
What are your plans for the next coming, let's say, 3 years?
I'm still working on the brand. Still trying to get it in there slowly but surely.
Yeah. And
perfecting the skills on the decks, because at the level that I see myself in, I need to make sure that when I get there, I don't disappoint anybody who's ever begged me.
Yeah.
I don't disappoint anybody that's ever put money and time and support behind me. I need to make sure I deliver. So that's what I'm working on, and I'm very patient with myself.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I'm not motivated by clout. I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by passion
Yeah.
that I literally just wanna share and just bring joy to people. Like I wanna, I never told anybody what my name was before tent. Because I loved the meaning, but it just didn't have a ring to it. I always had to now explain to people what Friesen means, which is just in simple terms, it's just that feeling that you get when you listen to your favorite song, that excitement that the name is Friesen. So that was my DJ name, but I always had to explain what it is, how it's spelled. I was like,
it's too much. Is it 10T marketing with mixtapes as it stands?
I do.
You do?
I do, because that's what speaks for you when people can't come and see you live. So your mixtapes do the job for you.
Yeah, where?
Look, I have people from time to time that approach me and say, can you please put a mixtape together for my podcast? Can you put a mixtape together for my YouTube channel? I last year, I think I wasn't lazy like I am now. I used to drop like at least one mixtape on my heart.
You were telling me about your plans actually, my mixtapes, because then you said you had an account and you deleted your stuff.
No, I didn't. I deleted some of the some of the mixtapes, because now when I listen to them, I'm like, Joey, what was that? No.
Seriously?
Yes. And I don't actually share my mixtapes with DJs.
Why?
I just post for the public, and if you want to listen, just listen, because I feel like they can do them for themselves. So in the beginning I used to, because I wanted the feedback from other DJs, and once I got a thumbs up from Jazz, he's like, no, you've improved. I'm like, yeah, no, I've improved, so there's no need for me to be sending mixtapes to DJs. They can do them themselves.
It's not about sending to DJs. Like, for instance, right now I'm going to look for you're here at this account, and I'm going to follow you. Nang Drive, I generally listen to,
but
you consume as much as you can.
I do send them around, because once I've recorded a mixtape, whether it's on my platform or on somebody else's platform, I send it to everybody.
Yeah.
But like I said, because I think maybe it's the way that I think. I'm thinking DJs are always being sent stuff. You guys are busy listening to this. I don't really, now that I don't feel like I need feedback on how because now I've figured out a way of recording the mixtapes. I think they are fine for public consumption. I don't feel like I should be bothering people saying, please listen to this, please listen. They'll listen to on their own accord. I post it on public platforms for everybody to get access to them.
Yeah.
But I really do make sure that I push as far as possible so that the word gets out. And it's very nice when I get feedback from people I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've listened to Omili Bala and her technical skills on the deck, and I admire. She's better than some of the dudes out here.
No, Millie is great on the decks. I always watch her, like even her movement. She just goes fully in.
Yeah.
She goes fully in. I hope to be like that one day. Not to be like her, but just to have the confidence and the skill to just go for it. Because now, I know I've played quite a number of gigs as it is, but I literally still get nervous each time.
You will.
I don't get used to it.
Well,
and when there are DJs in the room, I get even more nervous, because you're back on Jajavana. That's how I feel. I'm like, you.
Two things I heard in this line of business. One was Dino Michael saying, if you don't get butterflies before any set, you can spell kak.
Oh yeah, sounds like a Dino Michael
like
thing to say.
you're literally not going to play a decent set, because then either you're not out here to actually perform for these people, you're out here taking them for granted. So those butterflies are needed 90% of the time, and you're going to drop a beautiful. Plus, after the third song, you ease into it once you see that movement on the floor.
I think Ohab said to me the other day, Lugufi, because they were there when I did Rehouse Sundays, and I started very, very nervous, because you remember, this is a dream come true for me. personally, because I journeyed with We House Sundays. I was there on the very first one. The
Yeah.
first one, I was there. And the organizers, I've been aware of them. I used to even book them when I was still working in a certain space before. So I have so much respect for them and the work that they've done. So I was so grateful for that opportunity, but I was so nervous.
Yeah.
Like, I get nervous, but the nervous there was, hey, it was a lot. But as the people started coming in, I think that's when I eased into it. But in the beginning, I was
You're
truly
nervous.
nervous, and I was thinking they'll never ever call me again. They probably think they they made a mistake. But you know what? They said they understand. It's quite intimidating to play at that platform.
Yeah, it is.
Because also, like, the patrons, they are here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are here.
Right in the groove.
No, they are here. Like, where while you play on the decks, you don't have space to breathe because they are here. It's just that little glass that separates. But bonabam,
Yeah, yeah. In the thick of things.
they are in the and they are there for the house music. They're expecting you to bless them with the
Yeah,
music.
yeah, man. Are you planning on throwing any events that are curated by you in a setting that you would like to see?
Certainly, I have such plans, but I'm still scoping the industry. I'm still seeing where the gap is,
Yeah.
and then seeing what I can bring into that. But it will come definitely.
Are you seeing gates in the industry?
Sorry.
Are you seeing doors in the industry?
I feel like my piano has taken over, but my piano is a subgenre of house, right?
Yeah, it is.
So I feel we need to push harder as people that love house heads, like united. All of us, whether you are a DJ, whether you're a producer, or you're just somebody who revels and follows the music, we all need to push hard and remind people how great it is, because it's not that they hate it or they don't like it, it's just that they don't know it.
Yeah.
Many other genres have taken over and it has kind of fallen off, but I feel like we also have allowed it to fall off, so it's also our responsibility to pick it up and bring it back to what it was, because it's still great.
Yeah. I think that amount of work needs to be done like Cape Town. Because you go to Nyaset Devon, it kind of died down. The only space that's still holding it up now is Josie and Pretoria.
And I probably Bloemfontein too, because I lived there for a couple of years, and the house there was, oh my gosh, it was amazing. I used to listen to a DJ called DJ Tobias. He was on Gof CFM, the varsity radio station there,
Yeah,
the campus radio station. Tobias and says Chaba, they would just bring in the heat. I think those guys solidified my love for us. I'm like, yo, that should be me. I think that's probably why UCT Radio chose me without me knowing. I could see this one has been dreaming of this subconsciously.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've got no more questions for you, because I think I've found out enough now to say, when I come back, I'm going to be asking you the harder questions as a person that would have been in the industry for over 10 years or so. Umili was giving an example of how difficult it is for ladies to be in the market. Sibonile manje ngo-August. Like, I was expecting each and every gig to be flooded with ladies on posters, and it was very seldom that you guys were getting booked at all of these big events.
The thing is also, I think the other problem with Cape Town is the payment thing is an issue. I'm sorry to say that, but people don't want to pay DJs here.
Yeah.
And
Why are you sorry to say that?
because it's an unsavory truth that probably some people wouldn't want to hear, but they negotiate you all the time.
Yeah.
And that's why when you get an opportunity to play at a place that is paying, everybody wants to be there.
Yeah.
Because they know that it's not everywhere where you're going to get paid fairly for your work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your... So if you're not getting paid, what do you swap with?
I don't only play paying gigs.
Yeah.
Even now, I still do free gigs. But when I do a free gig, it's because I know what I'm getting out of that. You may not. You may think you are taking advantage of me, but maybe I'm taking advantage of you. You know?
Yeah.
My moves are always calculated.
Nizwil, my moves are always calculated.
Whether depositing in my friendship bank account with you as a person, like we have a good relationship, and I want to continue to build that might be my reason. It nothing commercial about it, just we are friends and we are doing this for each other, that's great. Whether I see that, okay, in this space there's a certain type of market that comes here, if I'm exposed to these people, I might get more opportunities. So, and then also I don't have like proper CDJs, so I still need the practice. So this gives me access to this, because
practice
back
sessions.
then when I was learning, if you wanted to go into that studio and book the CDJs to practice on, you pay 150. It's like a driving lesson,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
per hour. So here is a platform that says, okay, come play for free. So that is me saving myself money that I
Yeah.
could have spent there. So there is always a give and take. So I always, like, even if when I say calculated, it sounds so evil, but sometimes it's really not that hard. It's just sometimes I just maybe haven't played in a long time,
Yeah.
and I want to be out there and just feel the vibe, and that's my payment. Like,
Yeah.
I got to be where I wanted to be. I got to play. So there's really different reasons. So I still do take free gigs. I still do negotiate, and I still, there are people that appreciate me and pay me my fair rate, and yeah, that's how it is.
I want to ask you what your fair rate is, because that's apparently I've been told that's an unfair question.
No, what's a like, it's like you're asking for somebody's salary.
I think for those that watch that are based in Cape Town, it gives them a fair view as to how much the whole thing costs to book a DJ. So in essence, how much does entertainment cost? I mean,
Because alternatively, they could always play YouTube mixes. If you don't value the DJ being there, you can play that, and I don't know how long it's gonna serve you for.
yeah.
But you can do it and try it out, and they'll get tired. They will then realize the value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do we get you this weekend?
Okay, so this weekend I'm doing a private event and I'm taking some time out.
Okay.
Yes, I need some rest because between 9 to 5 and music, it can get a bit much at times. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's me this weekend.
Okay. I thank you very much for your time, ma'am. I'll put my links at the description of the video, and should I give them your number? Whoever's
Sure.
looking for a number, please get in touch. I'll push you the number.
You can put the number on. It's on my Instagram. It's not a secret.
Yeah.
It's accessible for anyone to contact me.
All right.
On WhatsApp, I'm there.
Actually, maybe you should just give out your social details.
Okay, so on Instagram it's DJ _T. Then on Facebook it's my full birth name, Thabelo, Tlale, in brackets DJ T. Those are the only two platforms that I'm visible at the moment. That's my capacity, where my
Yeah.
capacity ends at the moment. I will branch out to more later. And then my number is 083 291 5989. You can call it, you can WhatsApp it, you will find me.
Hi, get a chance. Date my family. I'll be there. Thank you very much, T.
Thank you. Bro.
Alala.
Thank you, Kelebo.